Welcome to another segment of Ask an Attorney. My name is Peter Morgan, and this segment is being brought to you by Morgan Law. I'm a residential closing attorney, but I often get questions in the course of my practice about acquiring property outside of a traditional residential closing. One such avenue is foreclosures, and specifically today I'm going to be talking about bank foreclosures, which is when a lender has foreclosed on a primary mortgage, and that's a residential piece of property, and they've taken that property back and are now selling it on the courthouse steps, so to speak. So what are some things that you need to be mindful about when you are looking at a true bank foreclosure? Well, first of all, keep in mind that the property is being sold as is, where is, with all faults. A bank is not going to be making any sort of repairs to a property it is foreclosing upon and auctioning off. You are getting whatever issues and problems you have with that piece of property. So you may want to consider, if you're allowed to do so, inspecting it and at least finding out what you can about property condition, because you will be stuck with whatever issues there are. In addition to the physical condition of the property, the foreclosure is also going to be subject to any existing liens on the property to the extent that the foreclosure does not cut them off. So the general rule to bear in mind with that is it goes in order of when the actual lien was recorded. So if the party that is foreclosing, the primary mortgage lender, is the earliest sort of lien, it is going to take priority and cut off everything else, and you won't have to worry about those. But if there are things that are before it in time, those might still be your problem to deal with, even though you're buying it out of a foreclosure. So the obvious thing that you need to do in order to figure that situation out is actually to get a title search done even before you bid on the property, and discuss the results of that title search with an attorney, so that you are fully appraised of exactly what sort of title you are getting. You know what sort of liens you may still be responsible for even after you close on the property. So if you have done your investigation, either as to property condition if you can, and done your title search, and now you are in the process of actually bidding on the property, bear in mind it's never just a one and done. When you show up at a sale, you're going to need to bid in for the property. You're going to need to make a minimum deposit requirement, and then you're also going to have to make your way through what's called the upset bid process. So under North Carolina law, there is always an automatic 10-day period in which any other interested party can make a upset bid, which then means that they will take title to the property if their bid is likewise not upset. So the process resets and keeps going, upset bid, upset bid, upset bid, until such time as there are no additional bids. Now, with each of those, there is a minimum amount by which it has to increase, and likewise there is a minimum increase in the amount of the deposit that you have to make in order to be able to secure your bid. So it can sometimes be a quick process, but not always. Sometimes the upset process can actually drag on for weeks and months. So that's something to keep in mind when you're thinking about a property of that kind. Once you actually are approved as the final bidder and there are no upset bids, then the trustee who conducted the foreclosure will actually execute a trustee's deed to you, and at that point you will actually own the property. You should definitely also consider, as part of that process, about whether or not to acquire title insurance. And I do work with clients who have acquired property through foreclosure to go and get them an owner's policy of title insurance. If you followed my earlier advice and already got a title search, we can actually use that title search to assist us in getting title insurance for you. But that was something that is definitely good both for your own peace of mind and also for purposes of marketing that property to others in the future if you wanted to do that. So that wraps up what I wanted to say this week on foreclosures. And in future Coming topics, I will talk a little bit more about a different kind of foreclosure, which is getting a lot of attention these days, and that's actually an HOA foreclosure. So look for that in an upcoming episode, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Again, I'm attorney Peter Morgan with Morgan Law, and thanks for joining me today.